Hey there, welcome to Worth It Wednesday. Every Wednesday we send a principle worth learning, a question worth answering, and a recommendation worth taking. Today's principle is that exposure to truth guards against insanity. Have you noticed that the world is going a little bit insane right now? Have you noticed that things have been a little bit crazy lately? And by lately, I mean for like the past decade. And then on top of that, have you noticed that things seem to be getting crazier? Like sometimes I think we walk around with these expectations of like, oh my gosh, I'm just so ready for this craziness to slow down and for things to finally get back to normal. Well, newsflash, I don't think that's coming, right? Things are a little bit insane right now, and it would probably be wise to align our expectations with reality and just anticipate that they will likely get more insane, not less so. And so within that, how do you and how do I and how do we keep from getting caught up in the whirlwind of insanity? And how do you make sure that you don't become one of the forces that's actually contributing to it? That you don't become the type of person that's not lifting people's eyes up, but rather you become a force of polarization, of division, of aggression, and you, in your effort to stop the problem, become the problem. Well, I think, first of all, it's worthwhile to ask that question because I think that question represents a high level of awareness. But then within that, this is something that I've been spending a lot of time on lately, and it's something that we've been challenging the leaders within the Path for Growth community on. How do you make sure you don't get caught up in the whirlwind? Well, I believe the answer to that is truth. Because truth is the one thing that doesn't move with people's feelings. It doesn't move with your emotions. It doesn't move with what's popular or politically correct. It doesn't move with what's convenient or what's comfortable. Truth is truth. And it's important to recognize what I am saying and what I'm not saying. I'm not saying your truth. I'm not saying a truth. What I'm referring to here is the truth. Because I believe that there is the truth. And I believe that there are things that are irrefutably, objectively true. And I don't believe in relativism. I don't believe that people get to decide on what truth is and not. And so I think that, like, first of all, come to firm grounding on, do you believe that there is the truth, right? And that's really, really important because that's actually up for discussion right now, as radical as that kind of sounds. But then once you believe there is the truth, where do you find the truth? And that's a really cool question to ask because I believe biblically in the idea that if you seek, you will find. And so I kind of just laid my cards on the table there. For me, my source of truth is the Bible. Now, I'm not telling you that that has to be your answer because I can't answer that question for you. But what I am telling you is you should have an answer and you should know why your answer is your answer. But just knowing where truth is, turns out doesn't help that much against the insanity. So it's kind of like saying, oh, I have a bar of soap in my shower, so therefore I'm clean. No, you have to use the bar of soap in your shower, right? That's how that kind of works. And so you don't just have to know where truth is. You have to read it. You have to digest it. You have to metabolize it. You have to be exposed to it. And this is connected to the principle, exposure to truth guards against insanity. Here's what I find, and maybe you'll resonate with this. I start the day here. Maybe, hopefully, on a good day, I start centered. And then, because of something I read, because of something I see, because of a conversation I have or I take part in, because of a podcast I listen to, there's all these things that can start to get you off track. And keep in mind, like if you start centered, which even that is a good day, if you start centered and start to get off track, you need something to snap you back on track. And I believe that thing is truth. Right? So you're going to hear all these messages. You've got more messages coming at you now than ever before. You're going to get a little bit off track, snap back. Now, if you are exposing yourself to truth every single day by what I believe, reading the Bible, reading whether it's Proverbs or Psalms or Old Testament or New Testament, right? You're snapping yourself back with what you believe is true and with what is reality. And you're not allowing yourself to get caught up in the messages associated with culture, the world, what's politically correct and what's convenient. But the minute you allow yourself to deviate off that center point of what is reasonable, what is moderate, what is good, and what is true more than a day, it's like you just keep going, you just keep going, you just keep going. Well, suddenly you are way, way, way off center. And you may have experienced this before. I've experienced this before, where the more I avoid it, the further scattered and feeble and fragile and weak I get. And then I have to get to this spot where it's like, man, I have to come back to truth. And that's really hard. Way better to just have this consistent daily routine habit of, I'm going to expose myself to truth. And I'm just going to make deposits, and I'm just going to practice it, and I'm just going to remind myself every single day what is true, what is good, what is moderate, what is reasonable, what is logical, because that is not the world. And if I only go into the world to inform my opinions and beliefs, well, if you jump in a green pool, you're going to come out a little bit green. Exposure to truth guards against insanity. Y'all, if you want to read the email associated with this, you can sign up for that email list at pathforgrowth.com. Remember, my strength is not for me. Your strength is not for you. Our strength is for service. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.